Hi guys, Travis here, Perth Diesel Performance. Today we're going to talk about 200 series dust ingression and how it can cost you tens of thousands of dollars. Cost you thousands of dollars in repairs. So let's step you through how that happens and what it actually damages. So you don't have to do much research to find out that this airbox falls short of where it really needs to be for the capabilities of a 200 series. On Google and Facebook, any of those forums, it's going to pop up that this airbox passes dust past the factory air filter. So we've got the factory airbox, factory filter. What happens is the sealing surface isn't good enough quality for going off-road and sealing against that fine dust. What you're going to see is dust passing through here and entering the air intake to the engine, and that's where all the costly repairs come into play. It destroys your engine long term. Okay, so when I say long-term damage, the damage it's going to do, it's done. Whatever it's damaged, you need to replace it from turbos to contaminated intercoolers to ductwork. If it's got that much dust in it, it's embedded. Catalytic converters get damaged. All the intake system's going to have sand, debris all the way through it in a really bad scenario. And even to the point where it's dusted the engine internally, it's got past all the valves, it's glazed the bores, and its engine, it's over. It's a new engine, new turbos, it's everything. That's when it's clocking over $20,000 worth of repairs. It's not a place you want to be with your 200 series Landcruiser. Okay, so key points of what you need to look for so you can identify this problem yourself before that event happens and it costs you thousands of dollars. So the first thing you want to look at is you're lifting the airbox from the engine bay. This is the clean side, the top side that you've unclipped. The air filter stays in the airbox. You need to look in here. You want to see no dust residue around in here, and especially up the intake pipe. You also see there's a MAF sensor that measures the air intake into the engine. That needs to be clean and tidy, otherwise the efficiency of what it's measuring is incorrect and your fuel economy is going to be impacted, and so is your performance. So that's something you can check in your driveway at any point in time. All right, it's got nasty. You've found dust in the clean side of the airbox and it's time to dig deeper. You need to start looking down at the turbochargers and hoping the dust hasn't made its way down to the turbochargers and sandblasted the intake impeller on the turbo. Okay, so on the screen at the moment, we're looking at two turbochargers. One is serviceable and one isn't. The one that's nice and clean and looks new, obviously that's serviceable. The one that you can see oil residue and the turbine charger, the tips of the blades, they're all rounded over and there's oil residue. That's been sandblasted from dust ingression. That turbo is done, it's time to replace. It's a costly exercise and there's two turbos on this vehicle, so it adds up really quickly. Okay, so it's time to come up to the intercooler, take off the ductwork and hope the dust hasn't continued to make its way up into the intercooler. That's going to need cleaning, taking off, and worst case scenario, it's time to cancel that trip you've got planned, ring the bank manager and get the overdraft underway, because it's going to cost you north of $20,000 to repair this. So let's hear from someone who unfortunately got the short end of the stick with their 200 series Landcruiser.
Yeah, we bought the 200 series approximately 8 years ago, and we've had no issues prior to this. Yeah, so it is mostly on-road driving, but I mean, we do live on a property, so it's anytime it is driven, it's driven over gravel, and we do the occasional full driving. Late last year, we had dust bypass the previous filter, and it dusted all the engine and blew the turbo, so we had all that replaced. Yeah, got all the dust through it, and the mechanic just said, yep, it all needs to be redone. The cost of repairs in total was $13,000.
Well, I've just rocked up at Perth Diesel Performance. Now these guys have got a great reputation when it comes to getting the most out of your vehicle, and they got a cool product for us to check out today. Let's get inside and have a look. Trav, what are we looking at here today?
So today we've got the 200 series factory airbox and we've got the Donaldson Airbox. It's the upgrade what we're going to run through today.
Now, I'm interested because I've got a 200 series. Why would someone fit this to their vehicle?
So the factory airbox is known to have dust ingression into the vehicle. So Donaldson have engineered a solution to the problem. As you can see, we've got a complete different design. The two key features is the sealing surface here and the filtration media.
All right, so it's got better seals and filtration, which is a must if you're heading off-road. What other performance upgrades might you get out of this airbox?
So with more airflow, you're going to get more performance there. In turn, you're going to get better fuel economy. That's the reports we're getting from our customers, so that's a big tick for me.
It's a big tick for me as well. What are some of the main design differences between this is a factory airbox and the one we're looking at today?
So it's all about airflow and air filtration. Once again, 99.9% filtration media, so it is a high performance air filter. It's been designed specifically for the 200 Series Landcruiser with filtration and performance in mind. It's amazing.
Well, you mentioned it's easy to install. Should we have a look under the bonnet?
Yeah, let's pop the bonnet.
All right, so how easy is it to really install? Do you think I could do it myself?
Well, Mark, I reckon it'll be one of the easiest installations you're going to do. It even fits with aftermarket snorkels, and as you can see, it even looks OEM, so it'll be the simplest job you'll do under the bonnet of your 200 Series.
I think it might have to be the next performance upgrade of my 200 Series, so let's go have a chat. Well, after that chat, I'm pretty convinced I need one of these for my 200 Series, so I'm going to go home and fit this myself. If you want to find out more or even order one of these, give the guys at PDP a call and they'll sort you out.
So from everything that I've read and speaking to different people, I definitely have confidence in having the Donaldsons in, especially that we are heading up north tomorrow.
In recent videos, I took the 200 Series to Point Culver and I've got a trip overview. I've got the Donaldson Airbox in there, what I took on the trip and where I went, Point Culver, Bill Bunya Sand Dunes, awesome trip in case you missed it. Okay, so let's open this airbox up and really see the proof in the pudding, how good it really is. As you can see, there's evidence of fine dust already on the bottom of the filter. If you have a look in the housing, you're going to see the coarser grit that's left in the bottom there. But one thing you'll notice, it's very clean on the engine side, and also when you look in the top duct of the airbox, the clean side, it's super clean. There's not even a residue of any film of dust. I mean, that's what you want to see on a 200 Series. All right, so here we are, just going to tap it out. That's pretty amazing to see how much fine silt. I've only done 2100 Ks. I mean, a lot of it was off-road, but obviously I had to get there, so it was on-road as well. It's safe to say this thing has done what it's proposed to do. The proof's in the pudding. I'm happy with it. All right, you ask yourself, what is this useless bit of plastic? I say the same thing. It's the intake pipework that sits inside the guard underneath the plastic cover in the wheel arch. This part here is connected to the airbox in the engine bay, and this end here is where it sucks the dust from in your wheel arch in an off-road scenario. So as the wheel's going around, dust all in the wheel arch behind this cover, it's sucking that dusty air that's down low, putting a raised air intake like a snorkel. It's not just for water crossings. Point it that sucks the air from to a cleaner point up away from the wheels and the rotating the dust generation. And better yet, I've got one more step to protect your engine, and it's a pre-filter that we put on the ram head on the snorkel. Let me show you it. So pre-filter, what is it? It's a pre-filter sock that goes on the ram head. It's got a light film of oil. It cuts the first layer of dust before it even gets in the airbox. You can visually see it without even having to open the bonnet, so you know your intake system's clean as a whistle. And this video has been brought to you in collaboration between Donaldson and ourselves here at Perth Diesel Performance. It's about awareness and how the product can protect your investment. The cost of the Donaldson Airbox versus the cost of the repairs if your engine gets dusted. It's a no-brainer for me. It's a Donaldson Airbox in the 200 Series. And best of all, it's an easy DIY instructions. If you haven't seen my installation video, it's right here. Until next time, I'll see you out on the tracks or in store for your Donaldson Airbox.